Hey, joining us now on the Marbury Rock Show, we have Candi. She is the bass player, one of the trio of the band called Sucker. They're out of Scranton, Pennsylvania. Candi, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Hey, I'm glad to have you guys, and we kind of found you via the way we find a lot of bands across the internet and listen to your tunes and really like the vibe of your band. So you're a band with a full-length album out. So for folks that don't know you guys yet, give them a little bit of the history of the band Sucker.
Well, I established the band in about 2010. It's pretty much, unlike the Paul Stanley of Sucker, I've been here from the beginning, but it's kind of been a revolving door. I work with a lot of different musicians, and pretty much just depends, on how things are going, who's playing with me. But currently I have a fill-in guitarist, and I have a full-time drummer who I'm writing a new EP with. And, we have a full-length album out. We released that in 2013. And we're kind of just playing the Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey area, playing the songs off of that album, some newer ones, and hoping to get the new EP released very soon.
Yes, let's talk a little bit about that album. I've been listening to a lot of the tunes off of that, and give us a little bit of history of the original Sucker album. Where did you guys record that thing, and was that a self-produced thing, or were you on a label, or how did that thing come out?
No, that was all independent. There's actually a local studio called JL Studios, and he works with a lot of the local original bands in the area. His rates are great. His work is great. So everybody records with him. We're really happy with the results. So cool.
So I checked out your current lineup of dates, and you were playing a lot of the really cool clubs up and down the East Coast here. I saw you were at Arlene's Grocery. I saw you were at Legendary Dobbs, some really cool clubs. So you said, talked about a new EP. Are you working on a new release, or are you just focusing on those shows right now?
I kind of do everything all at the same time. I'm a full-time musician, so I don't really have to focus on one thing at a time. So while we're playing the shows, we're actually actively writing as well. So we have 5 finished, and we're thinking that's probably where we'll stop. But I have quite a few more that I want to try to bang out this summer. We're going to try to keep the dates kind of light until we find a permanent replacement for our guitarist, and so we can enjoy the summer a little bit. It's been kind of a hectic fall and winter, so sometimes we need a little bit of a break, and then we'll be able to focus a little bit more on the writing as well.
Yeah, people take that for granted sometimes, that full-time musicians need that vacation, that break too once in a while this summer. I think
true.
People lose sight of that. They think you're on a permanent vacation, right?
Yeah, and it's like the furthest thing from it. It's all work all the time.
I have not had the pleasure of seeing your band live yet, but from what I'm watching and researching you guys, it sounds like it's kind of wild. I'm seeing stuff about throwing out lollipops and crowning a queen, so tell me a little bit about a live show.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit what goes on.
We like to get the audience involved in the live show. So we have a song, one of our first songs is called Amphetamine Queen. So we like to pick one girl a night, who's out at the show. We have a case of plastic tiaras, and we have her come up, and she's like a symbol for temptation, So we just crown her with a drum roll, and then she's free to go back out into the crowd, but she gets to wear the tiara for the rest of the night. But it usually doesn't stay on one person's head. It usually makes its way around the crowd. And sometime after that, we end up throwing out lollipops to the crowd. We play catch. Sometimes it's a little dangerous. I tell people to move in a little bit closer. But it's just because, the lollipop is another symbol for decadence, and the name of the band is Sucker. So it's like a whole theme we have going on, like hedonism and in the moment kind of thing, sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Now, is there ever any kind of juxtaposing for position for that queen, tiara? Do women ever get involved trying to be the one to be crowned, or how does that process work? Do you just pick somebody?
People are actually usually really hesitant to come up. People are shy. You have to coax them into it. So sometimes we get somebody who's all about it and they just run right up. And other times I have to kind of beg. and if I can't get anybody up there, then we'll usually settle for a long-haired boy. They're actually a little more eager to get up on the stage. But no, we usually don't have a problem. It's all in fun. So, by the time we got on, everybody's drunk enough to want to come up.
Sounds like an absolute blast. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and think you're a big Guns N' Roses fan, because I saw a video of the cover you did, and I even saw you wearing a GNR dress at one show. So are they a big influence on you guys?
I would say so. That's one of the many bands that I grew up listening to. I like everything pretty much from that era. So I think you can hear that in my tunes as well. A lot of the same themes and a lot of really riffy stuff. You know, I'm all about the instrumentation. It's not just about the vocals. So
I can't help noticing, like, so I don't even know how to phrase this into one question because it's really two questions. There's a couple bands I just hear some influence of that's really cool to me because we're a Pennsylvania organization. I'm a big Hailstorm fan, and I'm also a Baltimore native, and I'm a big Joan Jett fan, and I saw you open for her. So kind of two questions. First, tell me a little bit about those influences. You do sound a little bit like almost as if Hailstorm ran into Joan Jett.
Yeah, a little bit like that. Female vocalists that were influences for me when I was growing up, probably, you know, the usual, the Joan Jett, Lita Ford. I love Pat Benatar. But more recently, my big hero is Doro. And, male vocalist is Todd Latore, actually, who, is the new frontman for Queensryche. I've had, the pleasure of seeing him 3 times this year, so that was pretty awesome. But yeah, all the hair metal and stuff was a big influence for me, and it definitely comes out in my music.
So you got the chance to open up for Joan Jett as a band. Tell me a little bit about that experience and what was that like?
That was really cool. Our local radio station has a birthday bash for the station every year, and they like to get a bigger headliner, and then they have local acts to open up the show for everybody. It's at one of the bigger venues in the area, and they have multiple stages, but it's in like a big ballroom. And we were actually I think the only original band, at least in a long time, to have played it. They ran a contest, and everybody got to vote on who they wanted to see open, and it's, you know, probably just the whole chick-fronted rock thing. We wound up winning the contest, so they put us on first, and kind of in the corner. I don't think they expected, you know, anybody to have too much of an interest, but I was flabbergasted at the amount of people that came in and stopped and really paid attention to my set. Like, there are some photos and stuff up on our website. Like, I couldn't believe how many people were actually there to see it. It was really cool. So it was great. And I didn't get to meet Joan Jett, but I did get to see her sound check, so that was really cool.
The artist I've seen many times, so I've been a big fan of for a long time. So, hey, so as I was working my way through your album, I'm going to admit this to you, I'm like an older guy. I had to look up the term friffy. I didn't know what it meant. And no lie, I looked it up. So, Googled it. Tell me about that term and what that song meant and the inspiration for that song.
It's not a real word. I made up the word. We called the song F Riffy when we didn't have a name for it and didn't have lyrics, which eventually just kind of melded into Friffy. And after I had written the lyrics, I really couldn't decide on a name for it, so we figured we may as well just leave the name Friffy and then, you know, make it something. So now before we play the song live, I tell everybody what a Friffy is, which is actually when you drink way too much the night before and you don't have any water before you go to bed and you wake up feeling like crap and you don't remember what happened. That's a Friffy. So we tell everybody not to have a Friffy and to get home safe.
It's actually one of my favorite songs I've listened to so far for you guys. I really dig that tune. So,
thanks a lot.
Hey, I noticed, like, generally when it seems like you play live, you said you got some other musicians working with it, but generally you play as a 3-piece. Does that come out of that kind of punkish background that not background, but that punkish kind of style? Does it lend itself more? And have you ever considered stepping out from behind the bass to just be the front woman, if you will, for lack of a better term?
I would never put down my bass. Ever. I wouldn't even know what to do with myself, honestly. No, I'm an avid fan of my bass, so I will always be the bass player in the band. A lot of the songs originate from bass. I write everything on the bass. So it's kind of an integral part of what Sucker is. And we did have a second guitarist for a while, but it's not that I want to keep it more of a punk format, but it's more so just the lack of available musicians in the area that have the time to put into a project as demanding as this one is. So we just wind up being a few.
So talking about your bass skills, man, some folks that do something similar to us over at Rockwire Magazine named you one of their aces of bass for, along with some other good friends of ours, Mike from Station and Amber from Take 147. So, hey, congratulations to you for being named one of the aces of bass.
Hey, thanks a lot. I was definitely surprised, but that was very cool.
So, hey, last thing, what's up for the rest of 2015 for you guys? Are you going to be are you going to be touring or playing shows? It sounds like you're doing a little bit of everything, writing and touring, right?
Yeah, pretty much. We're trying to keep it regional, so we play home once a month to make our money. And like I said, we're working on the new EP. We'll keep it a little bit light for the summer, just so we can have some downtime. And then when the fall comes around, we usually do a lot of stuff for Halloween. You know, I'm sure we'll be back out to Arlene's Grocery soon. We actually had the guys who hosted us there the last time, Black Satellite, out here last night. So I'm recovering from the hotel party that ensued after the show last night. So, you know, here and there, we'll be back at the Dobbs for sure. And I know we're doing that Miramar/Project Independent thing that they do every year. They're doing it at the Dobbs and the other side. They do it at a lot of clubs, but we were selected to do it at both. So I haven't heard back from the legendary Dobbs yet, but I have heard back for sure from the other side. So I know that's coming up. And we have other friends of ours from New York, Guillotine Riot, coming out to do a Mischief Night show with us at the other side. The other side is a pretty cool new local venue in Wilkes-Barre, which is about 30 miles away from where we're based out of in Scranton.
Hey, well, Candi Vee from the band Sucker, everybody. I love the tunes that I've heard from you guys so far. I've been paying a lot more attention to you guys. I love the style of your music, and definitely like the full-length album, and looking forward to new music. So, Candi Vee, everybody from the band Sucker. Candi, thanks for being here on the Marmy Rock Show this evening.
Thank you so much for having me.